Hi, my name is Karina Guerrero. I chose to do my screencast on Mexico City. I visited Mexico City last year and I do believe May. I actually have a lot of family in Mexico and my family does tend to try to visit as often as we can. But this is just my most recent trip where I have the most interesting photos. These two images on the screen are when we were approaching Mexico City in the airplane. So that's the aerial view, I guess. We initially went to celebrate my cousin's graduation. He was getting his accounting degree. And we were only going to stay for the weekend, but we decided to extend the trip a little bit longer and enjoy what we could. In this image is myself, two of my cousins, and my brother and sister. One of the places we visited was a Castillo de Chapultepec. It was the former home of the presidents in Mexico, but before they moved it to a different location. It's this beautiful castle. It's absolutely beautiful. It was quite difficult to get to because it's on top of a hill, which it has the most beautiful view of Mexico City. But it was a little bit difficult to get to. It was quite a hike, but it was well worth the hike. The castle was turned into a museum after it was no longer the president's palace. It has a lot of artwork, a lot of interesting things there. These are just a few of the pieces that I took pictures of. The first image on the left-hand corner, I think, is a sacrifice, a human sacrifice. In the middle it is, I do believe, a former president of Mexico. And the bottom right-hand corner is what was a painting on the ceiling on one of the entrances. It really drew me, and it's one of my favorite pieces of the whole castle. I would love to go back and just stare at it all day. It also has a lot of stained glass throughout the castle, and these are just two of my personal favorites. I think they're extremely beautiful, just seeing the images and standing in front of the glass, seeing the light come through. It was just a sight to see. It's absolutely beautiful. It's breathtaking. We also visited the Somaya Museum. That's the actual museum shape. It's a really interesting shape, but being inside you wouldn't be able to tell that's the shape the actual museum is in. Here are a few pieces of artwork that I took pictures of, some of my favorites. I've always been drawn to the arts. I've always loved paintings. I've always loved all that. So going to those museums, I was able to appreciate the artwork and really, really loved the experience there. These pieces I just found are absolutely beautiful to myself. Here are a few more pieces. Two of them I think are pointillism. They're also really beautiful. It's just amazing to see what artists can do. And their paintings, they're just absolutely stunning. We also visited the Museo Dolores Olmedo Patiño, I think it's pronounced. Dolores Olmedo was a very wealthy woman in Mexico City. And she was actually friends with Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. And she actually ended up with one of the world's largest collections of both their artworks. And she actually has them displayed in her home today. When she passed away, she had her home turned into a museum, open to the public, and it's honestly a beautiful place. It's a strange place to see because it's a very large patch of green in the city, which is not very common because everything's very close together and it's very city-like. And her property is not city-like at all. It's almost like its own sanctuary. She also has what's known as a Mexican hairless dogs here in English-speaking places. It's a pre-Hispanic breed of dog that's hairless, and they were integral to the Aztec culture. Uh, they actually, fun fact, were featured in Coco. The dog Dante was one of those dogs. Very cute, very loving. Here's one of the dogs right here, and I do believe this is the dog right there in the statue that they had. It was a really nice place to see. Unfortunately, I could not take pictures of any of the artwork. Most of it was you couldn't take pictures of it, or you had to pay to take pictures of it, and I didn't. And this is I don't remember exactly where, but I just know it's in the heart of the city. And this is a video of traditional dancing, I think. And over here we actually have Chacmol. That's one of my personal favorites. I actually learned about Chacmol in one of my Spanish classes back in high school. It's an interesting statue and one of my favorite pieces that I got to see, especially because I knew already something about it. And that's it. That was my trip to Mexico. Thank you for watching.